What's up, Wrestlingverse family? Welcome back to the channel where we bring you all the backstage drama, all the shocking decisions, and all the controversy from WWE. If you're not subscribed, hit that button right now and turn on notifications because what just happened between Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman is absolutely insane and has major implications. Adam Pearce, the WWE official, just dropped a bombshell on Paul Heyman that has sent shockwaves through the entire WWE universe. He informed Heyman that both Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed have been removed from the upcoming Battle Royal. This decision is controversial, it's massive, and it's going to change everything. Paul Heyman's reaction was explosive, the reasoning behind the removals is fascinating, and what this means for the Battle Royal and both superstars is huge. So stick around because we're breaking down every detail of this incredible backstage confrontation. Let's get into it. Alright, Wrestlingverse family. Let me set the stage for this explosive backstage segment. The Battle Royal was supposed to be one of the most anticipated matches with major implications for championship opportunities. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed were both entered in the match and were considered favorites to win the whole thing. But everything changed when Adam Pearce called Paul Heyman into his office for an urgent meeting. Heyman walked in with that characteristic confidence, that swagger, probably thinking this was routine business. But Pearce had news that would wipe that smirk right off the Wiseman's face. Pearce got straight to the point with no sugarcoating. He informed Paul Heyman that effective immediately, both Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed were being removed from the Battle Royal. The match would go on without two of its biggest stars. Pearce delivered the news firmly, professionally, but with authority that made it clear this wasn't up for debate. Paul Heyman's reaction was absolutely priceless. His jaw dropped, his eyes widened, and you could see the wheels turning in his head as he processed this information. Heyman immediately went into advocate mode, demanding to know why this decision was being made and on whose authority Pearce thought he could remove two top superstars. Pearce explained his reasoning, and it was actually quite logical. He cited recent backstage incidents involving both Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. Both men have been involved in violent altercations, both have attacked other superstars outside of sanctioned matches, and both have shown a complete disregard for authority and the rules. For Bron Breakker specifically, Pearce referenced his brutal attack on Adam Pearce himself just weeks ago. Pearce said that until Bron shows remorse and agrees to follow WWE's code of conduct, he won't be allowed to participate in high-profile matches. The spear through the table hasn't been forgotten, and there are consequences for attacking officials. Regarding Bronson Reed, Pearce brought up multiple incidents of excessive violence and failure to follow referee instructions. Reed has been on a path of destruction, taking out superstars with tsunami splashes even after matches are over. Pearce made it clear that this reckless behavior cannot be rewarded with championship opportunities. Paul Heyman was not having it. He argued passionately that Bron and Bronson are exactly the kind of aggressive, dominant superstars that WWE should be showcasing. He said that removing them from the Battle Royal punishes strength and intensity while rewarding mediocrity. The Wiseman's legendary advocacy skills were on full display. Heyman then pulled out his legal knowledge and started citing WWE bylaws and precedents. He argued that plenty of superstars have been violent in the past and weren't removed from matches. He brought up historical examples and tried to make the case that Pearce was being inconsistent and possibly biased in his decision-making. But Adam Pearce stood firm. He told Heyman that the decision had been approved by Triple H himself and that it was final. There would be no appeals, no negotiations, no loopholes. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed were out of the Battle Royal, and that was the end of the discussion. Heyman's face turned red with frustration. He threatened legal action. He mentioned speaking to WWE's board of directors, and he promised that this decision would have consequences. But even as he blustered and threatened, you could tell that Heyman knew the decision was final. The Wiseman had been outmaneuvered. The segment ended with Heyman storming out of Pearce's office, phone already in hand, presumably calling someone to discuss this development. Pearce sat back in his chair with a satisfied look, having delivered difficult news and stood his ground against one of WWE's greatest advocates. It was a powerful moment that showcased both men's characters. Now let's break down why this decision is so significant. Removing Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed completely changes the dynamics of the Battle Royal. These were two of the biggest threats, two men who could have dominated the entire match. Without them, the field is wide open and unpredictable. For Bron Breakker, this is a massive setback. He's been positioned as an unstoppable force, a future main eventer, and someone ready for championship opportunities. Being removed from the Battle Royal is a huge blow to his momentum and his championship aspirations. This forces him to reassess his approach and his behavior. The timing is particularly bad for Bron because he was seen as one of the favorites to win the entire Battle Royal. He had the size, the power, the athleticism, and the intensity to eliminate everyone else. This opportunity could have propelled him into the main event picture, but now he has to watch from backstage. For Bronson Reed, this removal is equally devastating. Reed has been on an absolute tear, destroying everyone in his path. The Battle Royal was his chance to prove he deserves a championship shot. Being removed denies him that opportunity and potentially derails the momentum he's been building for months. What makes this even more interesting is Paul Heyman's involvement. Why was Heyman the one being informed about these removals? Does he represent Bron and Bronson in some capacity? Is there a connection between these superstars and the bloodline or Roman Reigns? Heyman's presence raises questions about potential alliances we might not know about. Adam Pearce's decision also establishes him as a strong authority figure. Too often in wrestling, authority figures are portrayed as weak or easily manipulated. Pearce standing up to Paul Heyman, one of the greatest talkers in wrestling history, shows that he's in control and won't be pushed around. That's important for his character. The WWE Universe's reaction to this decision has been divided. Social media erupted the moment the segment aired. Some fans support Pearce's decision, arguing that actions should have consequences and that Bron and Bronson went too far. They believe removing them sends a strong message about following the rules. Other fans are furious about the removals. They argue that Bron and Bronson are exciting performers who are going to make the Battle Royal must-see television. Removing them makes the match less interesting and potentially less competitive. They feel that WWE is punishing the very aggression and intensity that makes wrestling exciting. Many fans are also suspicious of the timing. Both removals happening simultaneously seems too convenient. Some speculate that there's a storyline reason beyond just punishment. Could this be setting up something bigger? Is someone manipulating events behind the scenes? Wrestling fans love conspiracy theories, and this decision has sparked plenty. Fellow WWE superstars have varied reactions. Some are probably relieved that two of their most dangerous competitors have been removed. The Battle Royal just became easier to win for everyone else. Others might feel that the match has been cheapened and that winning without facing Bron and Bronson carries less prestige. Let's talk about what this means for the Battle Royal itself. With Bron and Bronson out, who becomes the favorite? Does this open the door for an underdog story? Could a mid-card talent seize this opportunity and break through? The unpredictability actually makes the match more intriguing in some ways. The removal also creates opportunities for storylines outside the Battle Royal. What will Bron and Bronson do now that they've been denied this opportunity? Will they attack other participants out of frustration? Will they try to crash the match anyway? Will they seek revenge on Adam Pearce? The possibilities are endless. Paul Heyman's involvement suggests potential future developments. If Heyman is advocating for Bron and Bronson, could he be recruiting them for something bigger? Could they become part of the bloodline or a new faction? Heyman doesn't do anything without purpose, and his interest in these two superstars is significant. The legal and kayfabe logic of the removals is also interesting to analyze. Pearce cited specific incidents and behavioral issues. This isn't arbitrary, it's justified within the storyline. That kind of internal consistency is important for maintaining suspension of disbelief and making the wrestling world feel real. Adam Pearce invoking Triple H's approval was a smart move. It shows that this decision came from the top, that it has institutional support, and that it's not just Pearce acting on personal feelings. Having the game's backing gives the decision weight and makes it harder to overturn. From a booking perspective, this decision protects both Bron and Bronson. If they were in the Battle Royal and didn't win, it would hurt their momentum. By removing them for storyline reasons, WWE can maintain their monster status while saving them for something potentially bigger. It's smart long-term booking. The segment also showcased the different management styles of Pearce versus Heyman. Pearce is direct, firm, and by the book. Heyman is manipulative, clever, and always looking for loopholes. The contrast makes for compelling television and interesting character dynamics. This decision could also be testing both superstars' characters. How do Bron and Bronson respond to being told no? Do they accept the punishment and adjust their behavior? Or do they escalate and prove that Pearce was right to remove them? Their reactions will be crucial for their character development. The backstage political implications are fascinating too. Pearce wielding this kind of authority shows that WWE officials have real power in storylines. They're not just there to make matches. They can remove people, enforce consequences, and shape the direction of the company. That authority makes them relevant characters. Looking ahead, this could set up several potential storylines. Bron and Bronson could team up to get revenge on Pearce. They could feud with whoever wins the Battle Royal, claiming they would have won if they'd been allowed to compete. They could have to earn their way back into good standing through a series of challenges. The removal also adds stakes to future decisions by WWE officials. If Bron and Bronson can be removed from matches, then anyone can. Every superstar now knows that actions have consequences and that authority figures will enforce rules. That creates an environment where storytelling possibilities expand. What's particularly effective about this segment is that it feels consequential. This isn't just filling time, it's a significant decision that affects multiple storylines and multiple characters. When every segment matters and has ripple effects, viewers stay engaged because they understand that everything counts. The production quality of the backstage segment was excellent too. The camera work captured both men's reactions perfectly. Pearce's stern demeanor and Heyman's escalating frustration were both conveyed effectively. Good directing and performance make even dialogue-heavy segments compelling. Alright, Wrestling vs. Family. That's the complete breakdown of Adam Pearce informing Paul Heyman that both Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed are out of the Battle Royal. This decision changes everything and sets up multiple compelling storylines going forward. Now I need to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with Pearce's decision to remove them? Who do you think wins the Battle Royal now? What should Bron and Bronson do next? Let's discuss. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated on all the fallout from this decision, smash that like button. It helps the algorithm show our content to more wrestling fans. And if you're not subscribed to Wrestling vs. CC, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. Share this video with your wrestling friends so everyone can debate whether Pearce made the right call. This is going to have major ramifications for weeks to come. Thank you so much for watching Wrestling vs. Family. This decision changes the landscape of WWE, and we'll be covering every development. Until next time, stay engaged, stay passionate, and keep being the best wrestling fans in the world. Peace.